Alright, in today's lesson we're going to be learning how to evaluate expressions with known variables. Okay, and what I mean by known variables is if you look at your problem, you have x plus y. And if you look above it, it actually tells you what your variables are. It says evaluate each expression when x equals 4, y equals 6, and n equals 3. Well, here I have x and I have y, and up here it tells me x equals 4 and y equals 6. So I can go ahead and evaluate where I see an x, well, x equals 4, so I'm going to put a 4. And where I see a y, I'm going to put a 6. So I'm going to rewrite that, which is step 1. Rewrite your problem by inputting your variable that you know. So x equals 4. And again, I got that by looking right there. And y equals 6. So I'm going to put in 6. And then you do got to bring down your plus sign. And now you have a very simple problem, 4 plus 6, and 4 plus 6 equals 10. Alright, in this next problem we're going to do the same thing, we're just going to be working with a different operation. So here again, the directions say evaluate, which means just figure it out, each expression when x equals 4, y equals 6, and n equals 3. Remember, our first step is to fill in what we know for a variable. And in these problems, it tells you what your variables are. So it's just like filling in the blank basically. Instead of having x as like our question mark, we don't know what it is. X equals 4. So I'm going to rewrite it to, and then I'll put a 4 in for x. But before I do that, let's take a look at this. When we have our variable right next to our number, that does not just simply mean that when I put in 4 for x that this turns into 24. That's not at all what that means. In math now, moving forward, when you see a number and a letter smushed together like they are here, you assume that that means multiplication. So because 2 and x are right next to each other, that is multiplication. So that actually means 2 times x. Okay, and it would be the same thing if you look over here. If I wrote like a number, sometimes you'll see 2 and then, like for example, parentheses 3, and that's it. That also means 2 times 3. Okay, so when I rewrite this, I'm just going to transfer down my 2, and then x equals 4, so I'm going to put in my 4. Okay, and then I know that because these are smushed together, that means multiplication. So I can either show it like this, or what a lot of people like to do, I like to just put my dot right in the middle, 2 times 4. Remember, this dot also means multiplication. Okay, one thing we're going to move away from is using that little x. So I don't want to see it written like this, 2 times 4. Even though that means the same thing, this is 2 times 4, this is 2 times 4, and this is 2 times x, or 2 times 4. I don't want to see it written like this because that multiplication sign can be mistaken for the variable x, and we don't want that. So we're not going to write like that, so I'm going to erase that. If I can find my eraser, it may not let me. Oh, let me erase it. Okay. So 2 times 4, and then we know that 2 times 4 equals 8. So in this problem, you can actually go further and just leaving it 2x because we told you x was 4. So 2 times 4 equals 8. Alright class, here's the last example I'm going to show you, and then you're going to go ahead and try a few of these, and then you can see how you did compared to how I do, like we always do. Okay, so the first thing we want to see here is that we do have an expression, 4n plus y. There's no equal sign, but we also do know what x equals, what y equals, and what n equals. X equals 4, but there are no x's in our problem. Y equals 6, there's a y there, and n equals 3. Okay, so the first step is to go ahead and rewrite problem and substitute numbers for variables. Okay, so where my n is, I'm going to put 3, and where my y is, I'm going to put 6. And other than that, I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay, so 4, and remember, these are smushed together. That means multiplication. Okay, so this is multiplication. So 4 times, that dot means multiplication, 4 times n equals 3, so 4 times 3, plus y, and y equals 6, so just a 6 here. Okay, and then from here, you guys know where to go. Multiplication comes before addition with our order of operations, so we're going to go 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and then plus 6, did that, gone, and then 12 plus 6 is 18. So your final answer is 18. Okay, now I'm going to give you a few for you to try. Alright, so at this time I want you to try this problem. Don't forget, here are your variables so you know what they equal. Okay, go ahead and plug in what you need to plug in, and then go ahead and solve using order of operations, and when you're down to one number and you're all done, go ahead and start this video and watch me do it. Okay, I hope that went okay for you. I'm going to go ahead now and show you how to do it. Okay, so first of all, here are my variables, x equals 4, y equals 6, and n equals 3. In this problem, the only variable I'm going to use is y, so y equals 6. So step 1 is to rewrite the problem and then substitute the numbers for the variables. Okay, so 6 plus, there's nothing to substitute here, so I just bring it down. 5y, well, 5 will stay the same, but then y, we know, is 6. And we know that, again, when they're smushed together, that means multiplication. So I'm going to put in 6 for y, and they're smushed together, so that means multiplication here. Okay, and then I rewrote my problem, so now I just have to solve. So the next step is just to solve using the order of operations, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. We know that I'm going to do 5 times 6 first because multiplication comes first. 5 times 6 is 30, and then plus 6. And then 30 plus 6 is 36. So this should have been your final answer. If you didn't get it, that is okay. Remember, we learn best from our mistakes. So that is okay if you didn't get that one. We'll try again on number 5. And if you got it, wonderful for you. Alright, at this time I want you to go ahead and try this problem, and then when you're all done with it, go ahead and hit play. Remember, here again are your variables. Okay, we have division here, so the only thing that's going to be different is you'll divide 12 by whatever x is. Okay, so go ahead and stop the video, and when you're all ready to watch me do it and compare your answer, you can hit play. Okay, so the first step again is to rewrite problems substituting numbers for variables. Okay, so for x I'm going to put 4, and for y, for x I'm going to put 4, and for y I'm going to put 6. Otherwise I'm just going to rewrite it. So 12 divided by x equals 4, so I'm going to put 4 right here, plus y equals 6, so I'm going to put 6 here, bring it down, put 6 for y. Okay, and now I'm just left with order of operations problem. What comes first, division or addition? Well, division does. So 12 divided by 4 first. 4 goes into 12, 4, 8, 12, 3 times. And I did that, so bring everything else down, plus 6, and then 6 plus 3 is a big old 9. So you're left with 9 for your final answer. Okay, we will have plenty of practice, so if you're not quite getting that yet, that's okay, and if you are, wonderful.